we are called to reflect the faith of our fathers, what they had done, the sacrifices that they have made to grow the faith. And so it's very important that we need to keep that faith alive. For faith to grow, of course, it is very important. The foundation of faith is, of course, to have people to teach us about the faith, to show us about the teachings of Christ. To grow in knowledge and understanding is very critical in building a strong faith. It is not just growing in knowledge and understanding of our faith. That is important. That is ongoing. What is even more important is the testimony that you give to Christ in your very life. This is the most important level of faith witnessing. Today, everyone is looking for credible leaders, credible Christians. If people have lost faith, it is not so much because of what we are teaching, but because we live lives of contradiction, counter-witnessing. And that is why, for the faith to grow, what is needed is to grow exemplary Christian leaders and Christian disciples. This is the key to growing the faith, not just by extending the faith to others, but also protecting our own faith. As I've said many times, we do not evangelize just to bring more people into the Catholic faith. But the more fundamental reason why we evangelize is in order that we keep ourselves evangelized at all times, so that the good news becomes real in us. When we forget to proclaim the good news, we forget what the good news is all about. That is why proclamation of the good news is more for our sake than simply for the sake of others. It is because of the weakness, indeed, weakness of our parents, weaknesses of our fellow Catholics, that help us to grow in faith. In fact, if your faith is still alive, it is because you have at least some good Catholics in your midst. If you just imagine if all your Catholics that you know are not living the life of Christ, oh, you will give up your faith in no time. And that is the whole situation in the world today. Today, many young people are leaving the church. Many have lost their faith because they do not believe in the teachings of Christ. They do not believe that it is even possible to live that life. And then all that we say would fall on deaf ears. It is true not just for us priests, bishops, but it is true for parents as well. That it is how we live out our faith that will inspire our children to grow in faith. We are all called to be saints, every one of us. And to be a saint precisely means also to live that godly life of love. The church is not lacking any gifts at all. It is because there are some weaknesses or some disciples not using their gifts. That's why the church becomes poor of gifts. If every Christian who is baptized exercises his gifts, then we can say the church will never be short of any gifts. And that is what I'm trying to do, to build the church, to get every Catholic to offer whatever talents, whatever gifts the Lord has given to you. And if we put them together, the church is complete. If the church is weak, it is because we are standing on one leg, because the other leg, lazy leg, don't want to walk, don't want to stand. And that is why the church is limping. The church is limping because not everybody is contributing whatever resources they have towards the building of the kingdom. We are all servants of God. We are all responsible stewards of God for others. And so, at the end of the day, we are accountable to God. That's the whole problem. I think if many of us as leaders, if we are not living our lives in a way that is truly credible, that is truly accountable, it is because we live as if God is not watching us. It's in view of the second coming, in view of the future, that we are called to be responsible, to be conscious of what we are doing.